Hi all, I'd like to pay tribute to William James Lombardy today. So he died recently at the age of 79. I'm just checking Wiki on October the 13th, 2017. So it's a great loss for the chess world. He was actually, as well as an American chess grandmaster, he was also a chess writer, teacher and Catholic priest. He was one of the leading American chess players during the 50s and 60s. A contemporary of Bobby Fischer, who he coached from the time Fischer was aged 11 and a half through the World Chess Championship in 1972. He led the US student team to gold in the 1960 World Student Team Championship in Leningrad. He was the only World Junior Champion to win with a perfect score. I'd like to show you one of the games actually from the World Student Team Championship. So this was against Boris Spassky, no less, who did seem to have the GM title at the time, even back in 1960. So let's have a look at this game. E4 from Boris Spassky. Lombardy chooses the Sicilian defense. We have knight f3. We're going to have an open Sicilian and a classic Najdorf. Bishop g5. Knight bd7, bishop c4, queen a5, hitting the bishop on g5. That's protected. e6. Now maybe black's configuration here, not moving the pieces over here, discourages white perhaps from castling queenside. We have castling kingside. Bishop e7, a3, h6. Bishop drops back. Knight e5, hitting the bishop on c4, bishop a2, the queen drops back, queen e2, and then we have b5. This seems to be a very logical and nice plan to put pressure on the e4 pawn. f4. Now in this position, f4 does slightly weaken this diagonal, and what can emphasize that even more is if white loses the dark square bishop and black has a dark square bishop without a counterpart. And actually this is exactly what happens here after knight g4, knight eg4. Boris Spassky volunteers the loss of his dark square bishop. And actually we've seen a recent Fischer game on this channel where that's been a problem. White's played f4 and lost the dark square bishop, and black has got more power tactically basically on the dark squares. Black castles here, rook a e1, e5, not minding about the concession of the d5 square, because there's a very specific point here being made that after knight f5, black plays bishop takes f5, e takes, and can you guess what black plays here, which emphasizes this diagonal? So black to play, William Lombardy to play. If I give you 5 seconds, what would you play with black? Okay, it's a fantastic move. It introduces a whole world of dark square pain. d5, immediately threatening bishop c5 to skewer, to pin the queen to the king. But it seems to drop the e5 pawn, doesn't it? Spassky takes on e5, but now we have a tempo gainer, bishop d6. By the way, just to make sure you're with this possibility, it's knight takes first and then bishop c5. So that's why that wasn't played. So queen takes e5, bishop d6. So a very interesting position. White is still very weak on the dark squares, and in fact the queen can't go to either of these two squares because of bishop c5. So drops back here, and this is the point, this is the more subtle point. Black to play here. If I give you 5 seconds, what would you play with black in this position? Okay, bishop takes a3, undermining the knight on c3. Now perhaps best in this position was knight takes d5, but black could be better here with not check because of queen f2, but actually the more precise move is queen a7 check. So if queen f2, bishop c5, and if this is the case, then this is going to be good for black, because here bishop takes b2 actually protects f6. Black's doing very well there. Small edge. But in the game, Spassky played the relatively disastrous move, knight d1. Might not seem like a total disaster, but this is giving black a massive advantage. There's actually a loose piece that has been introduced in the position. So in conjunction with dark square points, particularly e1, black actually has a winning position here already. Rook ae8 hitting the queen, and here we see queen f3. Maybe more stubborn is queen d2, but black would be better here after check and knight e4. It looks very grim, all of these threats. Black has a big advantage here. Queen d3 to defend g3. Queen a5 is dangerous here. You can see that the bishops hit an e1, and that leads to knight f2 being strong. For example, here knight f2 check, actually winning material. So you can see a lot of the dark square dangers that have emerged, as well as the loose piece. So Spassky chose actually in this position queen f3, pardon me, queen f3, and now we have bishop c5 check, but still we've got a problem on the dark squares. Black to play here. How do you exploit the loose piece and some dark squares, key dark squares? Black to play. Okay. To take is not always a mistake, actually. Rook takes e1, emphasizes the bishop and the rook being double attacked. Okay. Knight c3 is played, but now b4, and black is winning material. Yep, there's no way to avoid material loss. In this position you might have considered b4. We have bishop takes b4 in that case, and this is just very good for black in any case. Very, very good position. So okay, knight takes d5, queen takes a2, a piece up, taking with check. So the pawns are doubled, but there's no sign of a perpetual check. Queen c6 does hit the bishop and f6. Queen c4 in this position, and the game actually ended here. Spassky didn't bother playing on here a piece down. If, for example, queen e4, well, black can do anything as a piece up, really. There's no point really playing on. Okay, I hope you got something from this game. It's an instructive game and shows that, yeah, Fischer may have studied these games and took some inspiration when players play like things like f4 and lose the dark square bishop. This is a great example of the sort of tactical disasters which could emerge. So rest in peace, William James Lombardy. Comments, questions, shares appreciated. Thanks very much.